Man,
Holy moly.
Kenny opened a water. That was a really noisy water.
Well, water doesn't make very much noise when you open it, so I had to help it out a little bit. Because honestly, how exciting is this from an audio perspective?
Wow,
That was actually
that's
thrilling.
pretty.
Like
thrilling,
really, you
yeah.
should. I think we need to go back and Foley that. Do a Foley session to make our
Extreme water.
bottles sound a little more interesting.
That was awesome.
It's too late at night.
Fully hour podcast.
Too late at night to for me to drink yerba mate. So
Good
water.
Yeah.
It's never too late to drink a yerba mate.
It's true.
It's
Sometimes I have a yerba mate nightcap.
that's just get you sleepy. Drink a mate.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, I'm in trouble going to sleep. Have a little yerba mate. Anyway, welcome to the Talkies. Today, we're going to talk about how Deadpool 2 sucked.
Oh,
This movie
man.
sucked so bad. Oh, worst movie ever.
Getting controversial.
Sucked.
Wait. So what is this movie?
Deadpool 2. We watched it at the beginning of today. Now
Yeah.
it is the end of today, and we're trying to remember it because it was so non-remarkable.
Yeah, I don't even actually. I forgot we saw it today.
Can't even remember it.
We've been sitting on this movie all day.
So these guys are trying to make fun of me because I liked the movie.
Now, Deadpool 2, should go without saying, is the sequel to Deadpool 1,
What a
starring
concept.
Ryan Reynolds,
Weird.
playing the Merc with the Mouth. That's his nickname
Mm-hmm.
in the comic books.
Interesting.
The Merc with the Mouth. Where to begin?
Pop culture reference.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've got some things to say.
Yeah.
Should
Well,
I start, or do you want to start?
Well, I'll let you.
Should we start with good things before we poop?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Why don't we just start off with good things real quick?
Okay.
I would say that
I got nothing.
I can't think of a single good thing.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, this movie was quite well made. Quite well made, as all Marvel films go. Yeah.
It's not made by the people who makes the other Marvel films.
No, but it did have the Marvel logo in it, therefore it's a Marvel film. Ooh.
There's a lot of Marvel films that aren't well made.
Are there?
Yeah, the ones made by Sony.
Oh. I forgot those were Marvel films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the upcoming Venom. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess this is Fox, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Even Marvel Studios has a different logo.
Right. Yeah, it was funny because I liked this. I like this logo better.
Yeah, it's a lot more.
Let's talk about the logos.
Why not? That's more interesting to me.
So you actually did like the film, right?
Okay, here's what I felt about the film.
Yeah.
It had some moments that were just hilarious, which is what we had in the first film. It had some moments that were over the top shocking, that just like we're like, what? I can't believe they did that in this movie, which is also what the first film did. And it had cool characters and an interesting story, right? So it sounds like it has all the pieces for a great movie.
But here's
Except
the twist.
it wasn't great.
But here's the twist. It wasn't good.
Here's the reason why it wasn't good. Deadpool is apparently the most immortal comic book character there is, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Wait, are you going to talk about a plot hole?
The only way he can. No, it's not a plot hole.
Okay.
The only way he can be killed is if he can put on this magic necklace that takes away powers, and then he's killed while the magic necklace is on, right?
Yeah.
Then pairing him with a character whose power is that she's always lucky, meaning everything she does works out. So the main character can't be killed, and his sidekick succeeds at everything. Thus, there are zero stakes in this movie.
I disagree.
Wait, it gets worse. because there are even less stakes than that. Because Deadpool reassures us over and over and over again that this is all a movie. So many times that you stop caring about the story. The story has like no weight at all.
Yeah.
When there's no stakes that matter. And like I love the fourth wall breaking, and I love the making fun of real pop culture things, like the way Marvel Cinematic Universe films do, except references that we all actually care about and think are funny, right? That's great. It's really good material. But is it a good movie? No. Because you don't care. The only part of this film where I went, yes, this is working, was when he died at the end, and it made it look like he was going to go to his heaven and be with his girl. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to end it. Deadpool's going to actually end? This is wonderful. And it's a great way to end it. But then they erased it.
I kind of agree, and I agree with a lot of your points. I actually think there's more stakes in Deadpool 2 than there are in Infinity War. Because the stakes of Deadpool is not necessarily the heroes' lives, but the potential destruction. The stake is basically the potential destruction that this Fire Fist guy is gonna create, and all the harm and havoc that a future with him being alive is gonna create. And I still don't think that's very good, because the story, I didn't think about the story at all. It felt like a chore. The story felt like, for how crazy and over the top and insane as Deadpool as a character is, and some of the sidekicks he surrounds himself with, like that force that he brings together, the story and plot itself is completely tame and is completely by the numbers and like very regular kind of a story. It's literally Terminator, as they even mentioned, But I think what one thing I didn't like about that was that they kind of make reference, oh, this is like Terminator, but they don't. I don't know. They just because they poke fun at it doesn't make it.
Does it make it
all
better?
Of a sudden? Like, it's still like kind of a lame story that's not that interesting. Surrounded by all these references that were very funny. Like I had a lot of funny moments. I laughed quite a bit, but I was also very annoyed by it. Chunks
so Deadpool has all this baggage. He has all these shenanigans, all these gimmicks that we expect from Deadpool. We need the fourth wall breaking. We need the pop culture references, and we need the just over the top violence, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like they were so preoccupied with fitting in as much of that as they could in the right places and times that you really lost out on the time you needed to get invested in the characters. Like, Russell was a very cool character, and you never really got to sink into him. Yeah.
Emotionally, this movie has zero weight, I believe. But if that's what we're calling a movie, is just the emotion.
That's what we're calling it.
Then this did not do very well. But
it was a fun time. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it was more fun than I had at Infinity War.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I had a lot of fun at this movie because it was so fun to watch and experience.
That's true.
Cable was like.
He's my favorite.
Like a really great bad guy.
I like Cable a lot.
I like what they did with his character.
I liked him better than Deadpool.
I liked Deadpool. I thought there's a lot of times, he did go too much. We get it. You're funny. Okay, move on. Type of thing. But there was still a lot of really just genuine fun stuff about the film. But it never had a deep emotional connection, and when it did, it felt weird. So there was one time when, what happened? It was when his girlfriend died, and then he went into this like kind of vision that he was going to heaven, but like I don't remember. It was like one of the future scenes, but it was cut into it as if it was a memory or something, or a future memory, or whatever that's called, a flash forward. And And it was a really cool thing, and I was like, oh, they're actually adding some weight to his character. Like he's dreading the loss, and he's on a revenge story and all that. And I thought they were going to get heavy with it, and then they just undercut it, and they undercut pretty much every emotional thing in this movie. When they got to the character to Russell, and Russell's thing, the whole movie was about saving him from becoming this murderer, right? And then he says, so Deadpool sacrifices himself, and then we have go back in time. Cable goes back in time to save Deadpool, just because,
by putting a quarter in his jacket.
But
he was like so short, man. He's good. He's like, I'm gonna go back in time and save him. I know how. This coin, just slightly larger than a bullet. I'll put it in exactly the right spot.
Does everyone keep their memory from before?
That's what I don't.
Because everyone was like,
Deadpool was like, hey, you did that.
Deadpool,
right?
yeah.
No,
And
the time travel rules were complete garbage.
Well, so the thing was, yeah, they were really bad. But the thing was, so when Cable saves Deadpool, then at the end, then
I thought that was so unfortunate.
yeah, Deadpool then sacrificing himself carries 0 weight.
Yep.
So then Russell was not saved. And then at the very end after that, when they had the joke of Dopinder, the driver, like killing one of the guys.
Karma.
Yeah,
that's his superhero name.
Oh, Karma.
Yeah, he said we're not going to kill him. We're going to let Karma take care of him.
Oh, right.
And then he drove in.
So
and he goes, "Thanks, Karma."
So he comes in, and then he makes this funny joke of, "I want more." Like he's now a murderer, and they just the whole story was about saving a person from that kind of
from becoming
a murderer. So I feel like the movie didn't really care too much about its emotional stakes, and that's why I didn't care about it too much, and I went into it very much having fun.
See, I think that's okay, but where I think, and I can appreciate that, but where I think they went wrong with that was that I got the impression that they really put a lot of attention into Deadpool's Deadpool wallowing in his sorrow of his wife being killed and spending so much time with his wife.
That was weird.
To where it was like, I can't believe that they don't care about their emotional weight.
I do get the sense that they wanted us to feel the sorrow.
Yeah.
And I felt nothing at the loss of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling like their relationship in the first movie was very genuine. Like I liked it a lot in the first movie. In this one, it just felt unauthentic.
It felt less
and
authentic than
when she died.
I felt like this one was authentic. I felt like they were together.
I felt nothing.
But they didn't change though from the first one.
Something changed because there was no spark, there was no love. It wasn't real. And then when she died, I mean, as soon as the time ramped down, and everything slowed down, I said, his wife's about to die. This is the moment where she dies. They've broadcasted it. He just said, they just looked into the camera and said, this is when wife dies, right? He might as well have broken the fourth wall and says, this is when my girlfriend dies. And then they open the door and she's shot and falls and he gives an almost comic looking scream.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work. It wasn't sad.
No, yeah. I wasn't sad at that part either. We didn't feel the loss of her, but what it did was motivated him to do everything that he then did afterwards, and saving the kid was motivated by her dying and everything like that. So all of that carried weight. It wasn't sad, but does it have to be?
I think it needs to feel real.
I think the way I think it's how they shot it and executed it was it was like they're trying to say that this is a sad thing.
Yeah.
But they also didn't, like, they could have executed it in a way where they make it over the top sad to where it becomes funny and that's like a joke, but they didn't do that. They made it like it was serious.
I was weirded out that it was genuine.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
So I don't know. But you do also bring up another good point about a bit ago. You said that what's that dude? Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Thanos.
like
Cable.
Yeah, Thanos. he goes back in time to save Deadpool because Deadpool saves his family. But that's a very weak motivation.
I felt like that was all written in at the last moment. Like, they need Deadpool to continue. Okay, so let's make his death not matter, and then...
Yeah.
Dude, the first thing I felt when they rewound time was deep remorse for how I treated Taylor Schofield during the Infinity Wars episode.
Yeah.
Because I immediately felt what he was so frustrated about, which hasn't happened yet in the Infinity War sequel, but did happen in this movie, which was they gave it one ending, and that ending was actually
it was better than
cool.
Yeah, it was better than what they did.
I loved seeing Ryan Reynolds walk through that force field and be transformed back into his beautiful self.
Yeah.
And embracing her and realizing, like, this is the thing he's wanted forever, is to finally die, right?
Yeah.
He wants to be with her. They're together. The boy is saved. It's like just tied up in a beautiful bow.
It totally was, yeah.
That was a good ending.
It was.
And then when they turned it back, first of all, they did it in a very, like, lazy way. But secondly, it was just, it spoiled it. It robbed it.
It did.
And I immediately went like, Taylor's right. Taylor's right.
if the Infinity War does go that route,
It will.
which I assume.
It will. They have a time stone. It's the same device.
It's the same thing.
To jump to a positive, I think my favorite part of the whole movie was the making of the X-Force and them going into battle, and then they all die one by one.
Immediately dying. That was fantastic.
That was hilarious.
And I love the bait and switch that the marketing people did.
Yeah.
Because the trailer and the poster, even the description on IMDb is like,
Right.
in this is the movie where they formed the X-Force, The poster has all the members of the X-Force on it.
Yeah.
And and Peter gives he's like, should we really be jumping in these high winds?
Yeah, right.
And he's like, of course we're gonna jump in high winds, and they just all boom, boom. The one who flies into the helicopter blades.
Vaporized.
And I love that Peter's the only one who sticks his landing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he dies because he tries to help
Yeah.
the other guy.
I loved how when they're going to jump out, Peter sits down on the edge of the plane
Right.
flap and then jumps off.
That was so real.
Yeah, that was
so
perfect.
real.
Yeah.
Peter would do that.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of things I just loved about this film.
Yeah.
I loved the Juggernaut so
Oh,
much.
yeah. Very much.
And I've seen the Juggernaut attempted in 2 other movies, and this is the one where it's like, wow,
Yeah, they did it.
that's an awesome character. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And how he said, I'm going to rip you in half, and then he just picks him up and rips him in half. You're like, surely he won't. Of course he will. This is Deadpool.
Yeah.
There were times in this film that they made fun of themselves.
Sure.
One of them was T.J. Miller has a way of describing things. Like, how, I don't know if you saw the supercut of him calling Wade different things in the first Deadpool, when he first takes off his mask and he sees the stuff and he goes, "Oh, you look like a inside out anus," and he keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So on set, T.J. Miller will just keep going with it, and they'll just roll and just cut up the ones that they want to cut out. And in this one, they made that joke where they said something that they were describing something, but they said, wait, don't, and then he went and just started describing it. He's like, "Here we go." That was pretty funny.
Oh, that is kind of cool. They acknowledged T.J. Miller.
They acknowledge that T.J. Miller
Yeah, and
has a
this-
tendency to over-describe.
And this time when he described what Deadpool looks like, all he said was that he looked like an avocado.
Right, right, and that's all he said.
Like very tame.
Yeah.
They clearly went for one-upping everything they did in the previous one, And the greatest one-up was certainly, in the last episode, he loses his hands, and they get replaced with little baby hands, and it's a very funny sequence. In this one, he loses the lower half of his body and he regenerates baby legs. And he's sitting on the couch showing his little baby penis.
Well, he does the
tiny legs and
he does the
feet.
reveal that's
Yes.
so famous in the
Yeah.
in that other film. I can't remember what it's called.
Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
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 And but the best part is when he gets up and walks,
He's
and they're all like
3
"Look-
feet lower.
Look at him. He's walking. Oh, it's the miracle. You know, that was great.
That was funny.
That was really great.
They had great jokes in here. They had like a lot of the jokes were like written jokes, like stuff like they had very little visual humor, but when they did, it was hilarious. Like they're all running in slow motion toward this area that they're gonna meet Cable at, and then the camera keeps panning, or it keeps going, and you see the driver running with them.
Yeah.
And Wade's like, what?
Yeah, it without question, this was very, very funny and very entertaining. My question is like, how to do all those things and mix them and use them while still respecting the qualities that make for an engaging story.
Yeah.
Right? So like when you turn to the camera and make some fourth wall breaking comment at the right time, it's quite funny. But when Colossus shows up and squares off against the Juggernaut, which is like the coolest moment you've been waiting for, Deadpool turns around and says, "Here comes an awesome CGI battle." You know, battle between two CGI monsters.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, okay.
It's not really funny. It doesn't really add anything.
It only makes me forget that it just ruins my suspension of disbelief.
Well, maybe that was just a badly made joke.
That's what I mean. It's just,
I think there was a lot of those.
some of them were
Yeah.
just, I think it was just too many times it was one too many.
Because like what you're saying about, I feel like what you're just describing about how do you do it well was done in the first Deadpool movie. Like I thought the first Deadpool movie was a lot better than this one, and like I felt like the jokes all landed a lot better. Though funny enough, I actually cannot remember the plot of the first Deadpool.
Who was the bad guy?
In Deadpool.
Oh yeah, it was
wrestler?
some guy with like a.
This is his origin story, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yes.
it was an origin kind of thing.
But there was a super strong Eastern European guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was. I don't remember.
A very atypical bad guy.
I really liked the plot in this one much better
yeah,
than the first one.
I
Yeah.
did. It was like just.
Cable was so much better.
Cable was amazing.
The team
I
that
love
they
Cable.
formed was a lot better. Like
But-
I really liked Domino.
But that was awesome too. Taylor's observation and the movie's itself observation though is spot on. That this is a very archetypical movie. Like we've seen this movie so many times. I've come back in time to stop the bad guy before the bad guy attacks my family in the future.
Yeah, but the movie to me was so much more than that, and I think it's because it's about Deadpool. Because like if it was just another fourth wall breaking character who wasn't as iconic, I feel like it would have just missed the mark. And I think the reason why you can say the Deadpool film is different is because it is iconic and it's something that people have been waiting for and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't think that doesn't gel with me.
Because it's
gosh.
because it's a character is
Yeah.
what I mean.
Here it comes.
Because it's a movie about a comic book character, about Deadpool.
Yeah.
And it's not so much what happens to Deadpool because really it doesn't matter.
But I
think
felt
ultimately.
like if that's the case, then the plot should be very minuscule.
I think it was minuscule.
I didn't feel that way at all. I felt like there was huge, like everything was like Wade was very preoccupied with his wife being dead and being some kind of friend role to Russell.
So you're saying that it can't be that way if it's also going to be like funny?
No,
I think there's an imbalance is what it is.
Yeah.
Is that Wade was completely preoccupied with the death of his wife, with saving Russell, and solving the mystery of his own immortality.
Yeah.
But they didn't give the audience enough to be that preoccupied with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
The audience didn't go there with him because we're all laughing at jokes and waiting for the next fourth wall break.
Right.
It's a disconnect.
So if you don't like Deadpool, you probably shouldn't see Deadpool. That's probably what we're saying.
Well, that's true, but I like
the
Deadpool.
First Deadpool. I like Deadpool. I like the first Deadpool. And actually, though, when it comes down to it, this movie actually made me dislike the character of Deadpool, because what I realized is that I can only take so much of this kind of character.
Yeah.
Like, I can watch the first Deadpool one time in my life and have a lifetime quota filled of the amount of that kind of character that I like. And so, like, I probably wouldn't like any of the comics, because I can only imagine that it's just that kind of Deadpool's crazy, fourth wall breaking, woo, he's dying, woo, he's making references, woo, all forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And so that's what I'm starting to feel like from...
Right. So it's like a gimmick, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, like Avatar, right? That was a crazy 3D gimmick, right? That everything in Avatar, even though it took an immense amount of work and had a crazy amount of technology and stuff like that, the story was complete shit.
Yeah.
Complete crap.
Yeah.
Up to the point where it was comical, where the guy at the end pulls out his giant knife from the bot, like, retarded.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Retarded. It was anyway, but the story in there was stupid, but I absolutely loved, adored the film for other reasons. And I say for Deadpool, you can say the same thing.
Yeah. To go with the Avatar analogy, I do like Avatar in the same way that I do like the first Deadpool, but I've literally never rewatched Avatar.
Right.
Ever.
No, yeah, I would totally agree. And I'll see all
that's what I'm hoping from Avatar 2 is not has a better story.
Well, see, I'll watch Avatar 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and go to all of them just to experience it, and I'm pretty sure they'll be shit, and I probably won't watch them again. But it'll be fun to experience it.
Yeah.
You know.
I just wonder how much of this is it's not about more Deadpool, too much Deadpool itself.
Yeah.
It's about the phenomenon of what filmmakers feel like they have to do in a sequel.
Yeah.
And this pressure to outdo the previous movie, right? It can't be as good. It needs to be better. It needs to be bigger, right? There needs to be more jokes. You need to break the fourth wall harder.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think they broke the fourth wall as many times as they did the first one.
they didn't break it as much as I expected them to. But they do definitely.
Yeah, but they overdo, right? Like
it's raunched up.
You know, like I said, they went from baby hands to a baby lower torso.
Yeah.
They went from having your hands blown off to having him blown in half.
Right. I think the blown in half part I think was different, but like the baby legs thing I thought was a jab at that kind of storytelling where they're saying, oh, last time he lost his hands, now watch him lose his, like that was a joke. I felt like
maybe it was, but they sure did that a lot.
They did it, yeah. And it's like, I don't know. To me, that's like, I don't know. They say, I felt like the writing actually was lazy, and again, they
made a joke about lazy writing, but it really did have lazy writing.
Actually, lazy writing, and pointing out that you have lazy writing doesn't make it good writing.
Point out an example of the lazy writing. Just that the story
didn't. Point out the one they point out.
Just the story. Yeah, what was the one that they pointed out?
I don't remember.
The one they point
Cable
out is
saying that
that he can only go back and forth one time in time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then like a mutant from the current time period was able to fix his thing, so that Deadpool could use it with unlimited power.
Yeah, but that didn't have any weight on the story.
But Cable couldn't do that himself. That's my point. Cable has all this technology,
and then make your plot Terminator.
The plot was Terminator.
Yeah.
That's lazy.
That's derivative.
Writing a character who just everything goes right for.
That was awesome.
I actually kind of liked that.
I liked how it
Domino.
panned out, but it just added up this whole that there's no There's no way they're going to lose.
That's not how stakes work though in movies. I don't think
It worked. It's the way it worked in this one.
No,
There was no concern of them not succeeding.
Yeah,
I think
that
the
was the
stakes-
point.
You
though.
could see
The
it from the
stakes
very
were,
beginning that there's just no way they lose here.
No, the stakes were different. They were for the future.
yeah,
of humanity.
I felt like they were more against Cable,
Yeah.
like because
Cable was the stakes.
You're
His
really-
family was the stakes.
you're hoping that Russell didn't get killed. Now, if Russell was immortal or super,
I would have felt that way if they made me care more about Russell, but they didn't.
no, because it's not about Russell. Because the movie doesn't really care about the
who you
movie.
care about.
Yeah, no, they don't care about having emotional stakes.
But they try so hard to.
They do at some points, yeah, and I think that
Because
was really
a good movie
dumb.
should.
Yeah. No,
And they didn't. That's my whole point.
if we're talking about if Deadpool is among one of the best movies made, it's not a
But
good
this
movie.
is how we judge every movie.
No, it's not.
Have you watched our episodes?
Yeah.
This is
Do you remember
what we
us
get
talking
into
about Black
with
Panther?
everything.
Black Panther is not a great movie. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah, and we said as much.
No, we judged it differently. And same with Infinity War, we judged it differently.
I remember squarely hating Infinity War. I was very clear on that. The whole episode, me and Taylor were like, "This movie was bad."
Yeah, I think I remember that too.
Yep.
Yeah. No. If I remember correctly, actually, you hated it. And Taylor loved it,
I think a fair criticism.
and I wasn't here.
I think it is a fair criticism of any movie
Yeah.
if it doesn't have some kind of emotional stake.
But what you're talking about is an emotional stake. I don't think,
It is.
because
What is an emotional stake?
an emotional stake is something that you care about seeing in the movie happened or not. So the reason why you watch the movie in the first place. And if that's to see if the main character or whatever character will survive, then sure, then that's the stake. But that's not what this movie was about.
That's what I found frustrating, though.
So the movie was just about laughing and seeing explosions and
Yeah,
guts.
for the most part, I
That's
think.
the thing, though, because I went into this movie, I expected to see, Deadpool doing crazy stuff. I expect to see violence. I expect to see like crazy jokes, funny stuff, and it does deliver that for the most part. But what was frustrating about it was that they were also putting in such heavy plot elements into it that didn't mix at all, and I felt like I was getting like I just didn't expect that.
Yeah, no, I would agree about the whole weirdness of, because they shouldn't take themselves too seriously, and yet they did.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Yeah. And
The first Deadpool, I felt like he had charm. Like there was a certain charmingness, a sense of charm to the character of Deadpool, and a real loveliness to this relationship that he had with his girl.
I didn't get their relationship at all in the first one.
I know, but you still haven't experienced love, so you can't speak to that. I'm gonna.
It sounds really weird on the podcast.
D is married.
D is married, yes.
For the record, that was a joke. I felt like it was a very real, beautiful relationship in the first one. Like I remember feeling real concern about them not being together.
See, and I didn't get
and
that.
her being taken from him.
I didn't get that.
But when
at
she
all,
died in
though.
this one, I didn't get it at all. I was like,
so me not caring about their relationship in the first one, and you caring about it could just be the same thing as me not caring about the story in this one, and you caring about it, but separately, but like different.
like separate and different. It's
Like
the
I
same.
don't care. Like I don't care about it, and that makes it better for me, as opposed to the first one where I didn't care about it and it made it worse for me.
See, in this one, I didn't care about it, and it made it worse for me. I didn't care about the story at all. Actually, it beyond made it worse. It made it frustrating for me, where I was like the second half of this movie, I was literally like, I was waiting for this movie to be over. Like, I was getting really frustrated with it. I was getting really annoyed.
Man.
I was literally like getting a headache. Like, it was just too much.
What was too much though?
All of it. At that point, it was like the story was extremely annoying, and then the humor got extremely annoying to me. Like I hit my tolerance threshold for that style.
I
just
felt
like,
that way
hit that.
during him dying sequence.
Yeah.
Like the second time he came back and was like, "I'm still not dead." Like it was like funny, you know.
Yeah.
That after he done it 2 times, it was like pretty funny. But it was like 5 times.
Yeah.
You know what would have been good? I was thinking this. They should have done this. So this is what they should have done. They should have, because he gets shot in like the shoulder, right? And he's laying there and he's like, "All right, this is it. I'm really dying. I'm dying. Okay, and then he's dead. And he's like, "All right, one last thing." And then he does this thing and then he dies. And then he fakes it out again. And then he tries to die. And then he comes back and he's like, I'm not dying." And then like it wasn't a fatal wound. He just wanted to die.
Right.
But
That would be funny.
He didn't die. And
That
then he
would have
just
been
got
better
up
than
and
him actually dying and
got,
then
like,
being
patched
brought
up or
back.
something.
I feel
Taylor
like
should write these movies.
I feel like we should redo this entire episode.
Why?
I feel like we're talking about our opinions.
That's all we talk about.
Opinions, no! Opinions in film, no!
He's flat out mocking you to your
That's
face.
on the trailer, man.
Whoa!
That's going on our new trailer right there. That's a clip.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's a clip.
He's out. He's off. He's unhinged.
Oh my
He's
god.
unhinged.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. For me, I felt like I was always entertained, but never interested.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining throughout, but never interesting. That's my concluding comment. I will allow you to take the floor. I'm now an observer.
To make a point for the sake of having a cool title on YouTube,
There were some things you might have missed. 5 things, Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Easter eggs.
if you didn't know, there's Brad Pitt's in this movie for 1 second. Okay, now we can put cameo in the title. And now, what else?
Matt Damon's in here too.
Matt Damon's in it.
There's
Okay.
several things now we can
Okay,
put
that's
several
good.
things.
And the other one was, oh yeah, does it make a movie still good if it acknowledges that it's bad?
Wait. There was 2 after credit scenes.
Oh,
okay,
2
so
after
it's not-
credits.
put that in
Okay,
there.
cameo, after credit. Okay, now let's put our philosophical. If a movie acknowledges it's bad, does
How
it
about
make it
after
good?
credit scene explained?
Oh, okay. Just say that real
All
quick.
right.
Just say it again.
So after credit scene explained.
Okay, we got cameo.
I can explain it.
Do we have a screenshot of boobs we can just put in the thumbnail?
We can make
Well,
that
I
happen.
can. I mean,
Can't
if you
even-
really
Can't even
Whoa.
put shirt
no.
on.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
that's
All
not
right.
appropriate. Ken.
I thought for the Deadpool episode, if we ever do it, if we
What?
ever go topless,
It's for a Deadpool
it
episode.
should be for the Deadpool episode.
I guess so.
I feel like the opinions
Are we getting into this again?
weren't
D?
constructive
Why not?
because that's just a movie review. We're not review shows. We're not a review show.
Yeah, but everything we've ever said in this show are opinions.
I'm sure.
everything.
Yes, absolutely, everything we say is an opinion.
So what do you want about, man?
About studying film as a form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're having a pretty good debate about
Emotional stakes.
About whether
what
or not we
matters,
liked
what
the movie.
doesn't.
no about the reasons why the movie did or did not resonate with the audience, which is the ultimate point of a movie.
Maybe what I'm seeing is we've gotten so high up. We're like so like there's how movies are built or how movies are made, and then our explanation of those, and then our opinions of whether or not that film theory is is not working. I think that's where we are.
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to have the conversation you want to have about this movie because it was trying to be so many different things at once. It's like hard to wrap my brain around what this movie really even is.
Yeah.
You know, well I don't know.
I would say if someone said, "Is Deadpool a superhero film?" I would say no. It's a Deadpool film.
Okay.
Even though it did go out of its way to say, oh look, isn't Wade sad he lost his girlfriend? And now it's cinematography didn't really agree with the narrative. Cinema narrative dissonance.
Ooh.
That was a bit weird, and there were a couple points, just that point, and maybe there was another one where they took things a little too seriously. But had those things been out, I think it would have been just fine.
I agree.
Kenny's dumbfounded. Kenny's like, did Taylor say agree?
I liked the music.
Music was bad.
It was bad.
That was great. Music
I
was
liked
great.
Cable. I just think the whole movie would have been better if he died. Or
Yeah.
stayed dead.
Yeah. You know when it first started out and he was like smoking and then threw it into one of the barrels and then he blew up?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. That was a good way to start.
Yeah. And then they said, oh, you're probably thinking, oh no, he's dying or whatever. And then he's like flipping off as passes the camera. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, that was like the start of it for
Yeah.
me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Yeah. So then, so that threw me off a bit. And I'm like, oh, this movie is not as deep as I thought it was going to be. And then they started getting a little bit more deep and then cut it off again. And yeah, that is what Deadpool does. And I didn't like that too much.
You didn't like Deadpool. I'm glad we all agree. You heard it here at this episode of Talkies. We hated Deadpool.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, I liked Deadpool. It just wasn't that good.
I actually don't like Deadpool, and I will never watch a Deadpool film ever again for the rest of my life.
Until we covered on Talkies.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch 1 and 2 again
Nice.
because they're fun. If someone were to say, hey, do you want to watch this or Blade Runner? I'd say, I'm going to watch Arrival instead because that's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Let's talk about Arrival.
Let's talk about Mother.
I love Mother.
Yeah.
So that was the Talkies. So if this was a pizza, what would it be?
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Ooh, I want to hear Taylor.
I
Taylor.
gotta think about it for a second.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
Well, let's see.
Okay.
This was pizza that I've had before. It was surprisingly good in some parts, and then there were a couple nasty parts that I didn't know that was on this pizza.
Okay.
But I finished it thinking, well, it was pretty good.
So it's like you get your favorite pizza house, except there's a roach in it.
Not a roach, but yeah, like maybe
Okay.
a rotten piece of mushroom.
The way I see it is like you discover this cool new like edgy pizza place, right? And you eat there. They play like punk rock music.
Whoa.
It's edgy, and they have weird names for their pizzas, like like badass pepperoni, edgy, right? And you eat the pizza and it's good, right? So you're like, I'm gonna go back there a second time, and you order the same one, badass pepperoni, but when they bring it to you, they've taken 25 badass pepperoni pizzas and stacked them on top of each other and just smushed them into one box. And
You're
said,
just
"Here you
describing
go."
sequels like.
And then you open it and you're like, whoa, look at all this. Wow. Oh my gosh. And then you try to eat it and you're like, oh, it's not as good that way. It's just not as good. That is what this movie is. Boom. Taylor, pizza rating, go.
I'd say so it's a new pizza place that just opened, and it's not like a super special place. Like it's like a very average looking place, but you go in and you get the pizza, and it's a good pizza, man. That's a solid pizza, and maybe they win an award,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of starts. It gets to their head. It gets to the cook's head, this award.
I see.
And so they think they can do anything. So they come out with a brand new pizza that has a little bit of like, it's like, like high end pizza. It has like garnish on the side, but it has like garnished pizza on the side, but it's still like this hole in the wall kind of like, New York sliced pizza that's like really greasy, but it's on like a square plate. A square cold plate with like parsley on the side, and you're just kind of like, this isn't quite right, and you stop going there.
So you're a snob.
It's taking a long time for us to get through our pizza ratings. Like, we take like 10 minutes.
Imagine there's an Earth that has gone through all the same things that we do,
So
except pizza places.
In a post-apocalyptic world, what I see is that you get your pizza and you take a bite, right? But you take a bite that's too big, and so you start choking. And you start making the sign that you need help because you're choking. And a man gets up and says, I know what to do. But instead of giving you the Heimlich, he just cuts off your head with a katana and pulls the pizza out of your now exposed larynx.
There we go.
Oh.
That's what Deadpool is. You want to make that into a film, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I see it. Better write something real quick.
Deadpool was a pizza that everyone's like, this pizza isn't good. And I was like, those are your opinions.
It's like your opinion.
You're not really supposed to taste the pizza. That's Deadpool.
And D is like, why do we keep talking about our opinions?
Right.
Why don't we look at the pizza? Count the pepperonis.
Yes.
Measure if the pepperonis are
No.
equally
Go
spaced.
over the recipe.
Yes.
Make sure that it all fits together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we should
Don't
be.
eat it though.
No, we don't want to hear what you think about it.
No, exactly. That's Deadpool.
This is getting weird, guys.
We passed weird several times.
Are you still watching?
Yeah, you're actually like,
There's people who've worked with us before looking at us like, what is going on?
We worked with people today who we said, yeah, we're making an episode about Deadpool tonight. You should watch it. And it'll be the first time they see the talkies. And they're going to get to the end and just be like,
talking about pizzas. They're yelling at each other.
the heck? This is what happens when we do an episode at 10 o'clock at night. We get to this point where we're just all like, yeah, you know, I'm really digging this pizza thing. Let's take it a little deeper. You know, like, what kind of pizza would Deadpool be on Mars?
So next week, next episode. No,
Really?
no, next episode.
Next week is solo.
Next
but next episode
will be
is our
shorts.
short film roundup. Short film roundup.
So if you're not
go
familiar,
back to the previous episode and check out
Check out
short
that one.
film roundup. It's the new thing that we do, and it's awesome.
It is quite awesome. Then after that is solo.
Yep.
So we'll be back to all agreeing that
Shout out
movie
if you're a
was bad.
filmmaker, submit your short films on Reddit.
Please do, or just do it here.
/
Link in the
Carmen
description.
Line Studios. Right.
Link in the description.
Link in the descript.
And smash the like and smash subscribe.
Yeah, I don't care if you smash the like. Just
Smash the
subscribe,
dislike.
please.
Actually, please dislike us.
I'm fine with that.
Seriously, yeah. Actually, dislike.
Yeah.
Don't like.
Smash
it.
the dislike button.
If
Like
you
it.
hate what you've seen here today, please write a lengthy comment under the video.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you need to cover? Any other housekeeping? We have a live event coming up.
We've sold.
We're sold
Sold,
out.
sold out now.
Our New York show already sold out. But stay tuned. We'll let you know when our next live date's coming from. If you want to pre-buy tickets to the next live Talkies episode, send us an email and we will make sure you know about it when it comes.
And Wix is a great way to make your website.
You can make your own website on
On
Wix,
Wix.
or
And
Squarespace or Weebly.
MeUndies is a great place to get your underwear.
Brought to you by the Coca-Cola Company.
Coca-Cola is a great place to get your soda.
Have you ever had a Guayaki organic brand yerba mate?
What is that?
Oh, well, it helps you come to life.
What is that, Kenny?
I'm wearing Nikes.
What are those?
I'm wearing Fruit of the Loom
What is that?
underwear. It's the finest.
Wow, I'm going to buy some. And you should too.
And some Adalberto's Mexican food.
Wow, what is that?
It's it's purely it's so good, man. It's delicious. It's the best Mexican food in Orangevale.
Wow, I'm going to buy some.
Yes, you should. It's so great. We at the Talkies only eat Adalberto's fine Mexican food.
We'll see you at the Talkies.
At the Talkies, I'm
Laurel.
I'm
Laurel.
And I'm
Laurel.
all right. Anyway, so I'm Kenny,
D.
Yanni.
and we'll see you at the Talkies.
Don't do that with the lens. What is wrong with you?
Whoa. Oh, that's one of those mugs. I've seen
Oh, that's one of the mugs,
like that.
yeah.
It's not a lens.
Watch this.
Well, it actually is a lens, but I filled it with coffee. It's called lens coffee.
Does anyone know how to whistle?